will the 49ers win the Super Bowl? This, I guess, our whole show has been leading up to this. And every year, it's the question that I ask. And I mean, not every year, because it's like we went through that period between Harbaugh and Shanahan, and really between Harbaugh and 2019, where it's like we went through a lot of bad years. And obviously, you can find success within years that you're not serious Super Bowl contenders. The goal from this team since 2019 was the goal wasn't even to win the Super Bowl. It was to be a playoff team finally under Shanahan. And if he had not gotten to the playoffs, who knows if he's even the head coach of the 49ers right now, right? They kind of like came up on the face of the map of the NFL and like went all the way to the Super Bowl and almost won it. Now we're in 2024. All the players that they've been building with over these past couple of years, this almost feels like this might be the last time that these guys are going to be here. They have to get it done. Mike, will the 49ers get it done?
Yes. Yes, they will.
Why?
You're goddamn right they will.
Why? That's the question.
Oh, why?
Why will they get it done?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. Well, okay. First off, before I really get into the why, I just can't help but sit back. Like I'm seeing this week's Radio Row and all the different content and all the players and all that. And it's like, I mean, there's probably an aspect of this of like me living in the Bay Area and knowing this team very well, and then it just so happens that we start this podcast this year, and now I really know the team much better than I ever have, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like seeing Radio Row and all of that. Like I just realized, like, dude, this team is star-studded, dude. McCaffrey, Kittle, Purdy, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Charvarius Ward. It's like I just can't help but feel like, and I know this isn't the why, but this is just me, I can't help but feel like this team deserves it. And I mean, last year I think I felt the same way about the Eagles. It's like they went in and it's like Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, this guy, that guy, right? It's like, oh man, they deserve it. Well, they don't get it. But man, and then you see the thing, like how similar this team is. It's like the weird offspring of the 1998 Denver Broncos or something like that.
Yes.
Where it's like you had Shanahan. Yeah, you had Shanahan, Ed McCaffrey. Was Steve Wilks on the team, or am I thinking of somebody else?
So
one of the coaches,
Anthony Lynn.
Anthony Lynn. There you go. Okay.
Hold on. Let me pull up. Let me pull up the. All right. This is what Mike is referring to about how they're tied to that team in 1998. Okay. So the similarities between the 1998 Super Bowl champion Broncos and the 2023 NFC champion 49ers. So, like Mike said, Mike Shanahan, is Kyle Shanahan's dad, right? So both the coaches. Brian Griese, at quarterback, I don't know if he was the starter. I think he was probably the backup, to John Elway.
Pretty sure it was, Elway, yeah.
Yeah, but Brian Griese was in the quarterback room. Brian Griese is the quarterback coach of the 49ers. Anthony Lynn was the backup running back to Terrell Davis, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn is the assistant head coach and running back coach for the 49ers. And then Ed McCaffrey, father of Christian McCaffrey, wide receiver on the Broncos. That, I mean, it's just like a crazy full circle moment. Like the 49ers, this 49ers team is tied to history. It's just a matter of if they'll make their own.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, shit, we had the video a couple weeks ago of the Bill Walsh effect on this team, with specifically involving the general manager
John Lynch.
John Lynch. Thank you. And getting late here, and it just feels like this team just sits right with me as far as its place in history and deserving to win the Super Bowl, but that doesn't answer the why, right? That's just me. That's just how I feel. Am I saying that the Niners are going to win because of a gut feeling? Not necessarily. I think the Niners will win this game because of their offensive playmakers. And I think, again, and this is my biggest if. My biggest if, other than the play in the trenches for both sides, my biggest if is how do we cover Kelsey and how do we stop Rashee Rice? If it's because, oh man, I don't see the Niners, all season playing soft zone coverage because that's apparently Steve Wilkes' thing. And then in the Super Bowl, let's just change it up and play man like that. That doesn't make sense. But I think you can. I think you can get away with maybe just having one linebacker play man on Travis Kelsey, like please. And then hey, if Rashee Rice plays on the opposite side of Travarius Ward, so be it. But every here and there, they're going to be on the same side. And when they are, Travarius Ward is going to stop him. It's really, to me, it's a matter of winning in the trenches, limiting Mahomes, limiting Travis Kelsey, right? And I think, like, I didn't say stopping them. I just say limit them. And I think the Niners can limit them. If you can limit them, and you can limit them to 21 points of offense, 24 points of offense, I think the Niners can score 30. And that's what I said kind of way earlier in this video is I think it's simple. It's just limiting those two guys, and really Rashee Rice being the third. You have to stop the run game too, but and simply outscoring the Chiefs. It feels like that's what the Chiefs have done to their opponents is they limit, stop on defense, and they just outscore the other team. 27-24 against the Bills. The Ravens game, the big one was the Dolphins, and I don't think the Dolphins, neither of us thought they were serious. And they had that negative 20 degree or 6 degree, whatever it was, chill effect in Kansas City, where it was like Miami has no chance, right? So it was like 26-9 or whatever that score was against Miami in the wild card round. But Bills game, super close. The Chiefs just barely squeak out. Ravens game, it's like you take away that Zay Flowers fumble. Do the Chiefs even win that game? You know what I mean? Like they've kind of barely squeaked their way through this. Yes, they've won. And yes, their defense makes it look very assured that they should win those games. They made it very hard for Josh Allen. At the same time, the Bills still scored 24, right? The Ravens had a shitty game plan, and yet they still had every chance in the world to come back in that fourth quarter. I mean, the Chiefs' defense was doing their job in stopping them, but you give them that one touchdown, and it's like they're right there. Whereas the Niners, it's like Packers game, they were down, they come back, and they win, right? They're resilient. Lions game, it's like, it's over. Lions, Chiefs. And then second half, they come back and resilient, right? Just shut them out, destroy them. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think you were onto something earlier. I know I said that, and I do believe this. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be close, and I think the fourth quarter is going to be where it counts. Who's going to put up the most points in the fourth quarter? But I also think you were on a really good point of, if you start this game hot, that could be the big difference. I'm not expecting a team to go up, 24-7 at halftime And I'm definitely not expecting a team to come back from that in the second half, you know? But
Mhm.
if it's like the Niners just keep a 1 to 2 possession lead early on, I think they should absolutely keep it to end the game.
Mhm.
I think they should because of their playmakers. But Mahomes
Mhm.
does scare me, obviously. And the Chiefs defense can at any point stop drives. I just think I know we've been talking about Purdy. It's like Purdy is so poised that I think nothing will fluster him, you know? And as long as Shanahan is on his shit, the Niners should be scoring points in this game. And I think they're going to score more points than the Bills did against the Chiefs 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So that's how I feel.
I'm picking the 49ers, and here's why. I'm going to go based off of what I know for a fact because I see. Or maybe it's not a fact, but I see it with my eyes. The 49ers a couple years ago almost beat the Chiefs, should have beat the Chiefs with Jimmy Garoppolo, and they didn't. But I know Brock Purdy is better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I know that. And if Jimmy Garoppolo was better, he'd still be on this football team. I know that the 49ers playmakers are better than the Chiefs playmakers. I know that the 49ers know that the world knows that they were giving lackadaisical efforts in the NFC Championship game. They know it. And they know that's where they have to address it. And I know that this 49ers team, most of them have been together for how many years now?
Mm.
You know, I know they know how hard it is to get back to this moment. And I know that this team can turn it on when they want to. It's just a matter of when they want to. And they have been waiting so long for so many years to get back to this moment. You know, Kittle said it, and he said he likes to speak things into existence, and he does. Look at the NFC Championship game. Did you see the mic'd up where he's like, hey, I can't wait until, you know, he was saying this in the first half. He's like,
Yep.
I can't wait to tell everyone after the game, you know, they had us in the first half, not going to lie. He was saying that throughout, like they were about to get bounced from the playoffs by the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
So I know they know how hard it is to get here. And I know that they know this is an opportunity that they may never get again. Because if it was that easy, they would have beat the Rams in the NFC Championship a couple years ago. If it was that easy, they would have stayed healthy in 2020. If it was that easy, they would have, well, I mean, anything can happen, right? Purdy can go down like in a playoff run. And these guys, like the average NFL career lasts like what, 3 years?
Yeah.
You know, and that's because so many people are like one and done and retire so early. You know, I really feel like this might be the last great chance that this team has. And I know that this is not the best that the Chiefs offense has looked. I can tell you just by seeing it with my own eyes. And I know that, I mean, I know that mostly everybody except for Swifties wants to see the Chiefs go down. You know, mostly everybody but 49er haters, Kansas City fans, and Taylor Swift fans, they want to see nothing else but the Chiefs go down. And I know that Vegas, you know, we talked about this, and you made a great point yesterday on our phone call. And unfortunately, it was not broadcast to everybody to listen to. But it was such a great point, Mike, when you brought up, you know, this with everybody putting money on Kansas City, I think you said there's no way that all these people are just going to win hella money in Las Vegas. You said this
Well,
just feels like one of those things where hella people are going to like lose money to Vegas.
yeah, I think my point was essentially, you know, with the Niners being favored in the eyes of Vegas, I think everybody is betting on the Chiefs because they are the underdog. So if you bet on them, in theory, if the Chiefs win, you would get more money than betting on the Niners and the Niners win. And it's like, why would I bet against Mahomes? Why would I blah 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 blah? Right? Oh, Taylor Swift, all this stuff, right? It just feels to me like, and this might be more of a gut call than anything, but it's also because it's Vegas and Vegas knows their shit. You have the occasional like, oh, the Raiders were 3-point favorites to the Chargers in week whatever, and then the Raiders win by almost 60 points or 50 points or whatever. It's like, well, obviously they didn't see that coming, but the Niners are the favorite for a reason as far as Vegas goes. Everybody betting on the Chiefs, it's like it just feels like it's the ultimate setup for the ultimate letdown. And everybody's going to lose a bunch of money, and Vegas is going to be like, thanks. I don't know, but at the same time, you could say, hey, because of Taylor Swift and everything that's been going on, it feels like, oh, the Chiefs are just, it's going to happen no matter what. The Chiefs are going to win. But I don't know.
And that's not my reason why I'm picking them. My reason why is because every single time the 49ers have made the Super Bowl, I get so fixated on like, oh man, they're going to win. They're going to win. This is I don't know if you were here when I said this. I was more confident in 2019 that the Niners would win because I thought the Niners team in 2019, I thought they were in a completely different class, played a completely different style of football than the Chiefs were going to be able to manage. I thought the Chiefs were soft in 2019. And they were for like, 3.5 quarters. But the most important quarter is when they came out on top, scored 21 unanswered. This time around, I'm not as confident that the 49ers will win. But you know what? There have been like signs and indications. And I thought the stars were aligning in 2019. But this time, dude, like I called my shot when I called my shot in fantasy football, won the championship, and I had one of the best seasons that anyone's had in our fantasy league. Right? I went 8-0 in our division. You know what I mean? Not to toot my own horn, but I willed that into existence, right? And I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so badly. And I thought, man, the 49, it would be so crazy if I won this championship and the 49ers won in the same season. That would just be so crazy. But you know what else happened this year? Jim Harbaugh won a national championship. Jim Tomsula won a national championship. I don't like Tomsula like that, but it's just crazy. They can become champions in the same year. The Super Bowl is in Las Vegas, exactly where it started. The Niners' first preseason game and first joint practices in Las Vegas, right? And they're getting screwed over left and right by the NFL. They have the worst. They have the worst hotel.
We haven't even talked about
a worse hotel than the Chiefs. They've got a worse practice field. The Chiefs get the state-of-the-art, Raiders facility. The Niners get a field that they just laid on, fresh grass last week when it was supposed to be prepared in December and, checked in December. And, it was just laid the week, like 2 weeks ago now. It was just laid on artificial turf. Granted, I've seen videos today or yesterday, and the grass looked fine, but I'm not stepping on that grass. I don't know how it is. And the Niners, I guess, behind the scenes voiced their displeasure, and the NFL media leaked it out to make the Niners look soft. Right? This morning at 6 a.m., somebody, somehow the fire alarm went off and woke up all the players. All the coaches were already awake, but all the players got woken up and everything. But going back to like the Niners Super Bowl on media day. Let me preface this. I have been looking for a song to sort of captivate this team, because like in 2019, everybody was calling the 49ers pretenders, right? And I thought, no, they're better than pretenders. And then, they lost the Super Bowl, so they couldn't ultimately prove that they were more than just, easy schedule and blah, blah, blah. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl and they were a great team and they almost won it. This year, or the past several weeks, I have been playing For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica, because that was the song that I would walk out to, or run out to the field when I played football in high school. And that song just gets me so pumped up and gets me like, I can run through a brick wall with that song, right? The Niners on media day, they walk out to For Whom the Bell Tolls. And I'm like, no way, right? And then Mike brought up this point, maybe they do that for every home game. And I was clearing out my Google Drive, and I see the first 49er game that I ever went to. I took a video of them walking out, and I somehow stumbled on this video of them walking out. And it was, if you want to know which game, it was Chip Kelly's last game, Kaepernick's last game. That's the one. They run out of the tunnel to For Whom the Bell Tolls. And I'm like, this is a sign. And then against Detroit and against Green Bay, we hadn't seen them come back all year, all year.
Yeah.
And then they came back and won those games. Now, what's crazy is at the Detroit game, Hunter Pence and Brandon Crawford were there, both key members of the 2012 San Francisco Giants team. The San Francisco Giants in 2012. Okay, so like the whole time in the 2010s, the song, Don't Stop Believin' was kind of the rally cry for the San Francisco Giants during that time. It was like, you put that song on, I'm always going to think about the Giants in the 2010s. And the fact that like they were down 2-0 to the Reds in a best of 3 series, and they went to Cincinnati and swept the Reds at home, which hadn't happened at all that year. They hadn't been swept at home. They came back, went on to the next round. They were down 3-1 against the St. Louis Cardinals, and then they came back from that, right? And it's like, Don't Stop Believin'. Right? Journey played at halftime to one of the biggest comebacks in NFC Championship history. They played at halftime, and there's just something magical about it. The Niners have survived and gotten this far, and I can't put anything to it. Like, the Niners had no answers for Detroit, and somehow they just kept battling, and then they came back and won. It was so exciting. And like, I haven't been this excited as a fan in a long time. It's like I have been, constantly barraged by heartbreak, expectations. But now I have probably the least amount of expectations. I, for once in my life, what I'm thinking? Instead of, man, I've been saying every day, they need to win the Super Bowl. I really hope the 49ers win the Super Bowl. But I'm just going to say this. I'm just thankful, and I just want to enjoy one last game watching this 49er team, and I'm just going to enjoy the game. How about that? If they win, they win. And I'll be running down the street streaking, right? I'll be running with my shirt off and everything. But if they don't, I've seen them lose before. What do I have to lose? You know, I know what this team has to lose. This might be their last shot. You know what I mean? And I'm so sorry at home if you guys are in bed and like watching this and this is too much energy and you want to get out of bed too and like, you know, run through a brick wall, run down the street naked like me. But man, I just want to be thankful and really just enjoy the fact that I can watch one more 49er game this year because it's going to be a long time before we get football. And I think I'm just going to pick the 49ers because my brother has been telling me that I've been way too negative. And my girlfriend, Pia, tells me that I've been way too negative. She calls me Negative Nancy. And you know what? It's been working. It's been working. So I need to keep being negative. So you know what? You know what? Maybe I should change my tune. But I will say this. My brother says I need to be more faithful. So you know what? Just like Dutch Vanderlyn asked Arthur Morgan, I'm going to give the Niners some goddamn faith. I'm going to be faithful. And that's why I picked the Niners all year in every single game. I just can't pick against them. I just can't do it. I'm picking the 49ers. Call me a homer and call me a loser if we lose. I don't care. I'm picking the 49ers.
Well, I would also say picking the 49ers has worked out pretty well for you, especially in the playoffs, right? I mean,
yeah.
You picked the Niners all season, right?
I have. I picked them in every single game.
So
I picked them in every single game.
And I mean, here we are. As far as the playoffs goes, you're 2 for 2 so far. Hopefully, you go 3 for 3. I think this is really my last thought for this game, at least major thought. I keep mentioning, when the Raiders play the Chiefs and they beat them, they really punched them in the mouth. And I think, in part, in doing so, they were able to outstrength them or, outgrit them or whatever the term would be. Like they overpowered them, right? They were able to bully them. And I think that didn't sound good. I think if you had to ask me, we had that game earlier of what is more likely? To me, what is more likely, that the Chiefs bully the Niners or the Niners bully the Chiefs? For me, it's easy. I think it's more likely that the Niners bully the Chiefs. And I think that can be a big aspect of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. That rant that I went on about why I'm picking the Niners, that might be the best single greatest rant that I've ever gone on this show. I don't know. Like that, I have to clip that or something because my enthusiasm was just through the roof. And, I just have to say, I'm not going to stop believing because, all right, similar. I'm gonna go back to my rant. I mean, I'm bringing it back, Mike. That 2012 team, after they beat the Cardinals 3-1, you know what they did? They played against the Detroit Tigers, a team that you are very familiar with as an A's fan. Right? A team that everyone thought was going to win that World Series. And they said, man, you can't beat Verlander. And just, for whatever reason, Pablo Sandoval showed up and hit 3 home runs in the first game off of Justin Verlander, the unhittable, you can't hit off this pitcher. Man, the only player who has ever beat Mahomes in the playoffs and the Super Bowl has been Tom Brady. Somebody's got to do it eventually. Why not Brock Purdy? Why not Brock Purdy? I'm picking the 49ers, man. I'm not going to stop believing. Are you still there with me, Mike? I think Mike might have froze a little bit. But yeah, that's my pick. I do want to get to this comment. I've had it on the screen for now several minutes, so I apologize for making you wait. But Tony, thank you again. You have to be the most respectful cowboy that I've ever encountered in my life, or cowboy fan, not cowboy. I don't. I'm not living a lifestyle that has me going, in a lot of, face to face with a lot of like real life cowboys, right? But Tony, thank you. I'm going to read your comment. Yeah, I want to see the Chiefs go down. Even though as a Cowboys fan, it's hard to root for the 49ers. Good luck, guys. That means a lot, man. Because like, I have another close friend who's a Cowboy fan, and he's just like, you know what? Screw the Niners all the way. It's like, you know who I'm talking about, Mike, in our fantasy league, right?
Oh,
yeah. But, Tony by far is the most respectful Cowboy fan that I've ever encountered. And it is a privilege to reply to you in the comments when you comment on our videos. I really enjoy it. So I hope you keep checking out the channel, and anyone else who also wants to contribute, we also appreciate it. And then V Smitty says Niners. Yep, that's what I'm saying. I'm feeding off the energy, dude. I'm ready to run. Can I get a jersey? Like, get me some shoulder pads. I'll do whatever you need me to do, Kyle. I'll block. You know what I mean? Put me on Chris Jones, right? I'll end up in the hospital, but you know what? I'll do it for you. Do it for you, Kyle.
I joked earlier about Raiders and Niner fans, forming up for this alliance to beat the shit out of the Chiefs. And I said it's kind of like that meme where it's the Crips and the Bloods with the rags tied together and holding it. You know what that reminds me of? Like that meme with that, and then if you wanted to make one with like Raiders and Niner fans, you know what that logo would look like? It would look like this.
Oh my god, that's a mic drop. That's a mic drop moment.
Boom,
dude. That's so good. That's like why we made the channel. You know what I mean? Besides to like keep receipts of stuff that we said in the past, and like we have such great conversation. We've been at this for 3 hours. You know that? And it feels like one. It really like this has been a great show, Mike. We didn't even get to any of the Raider stuff. We'll save that for next time, right?
Yeah. We'll do it. I think we should be able to do a pod Monday night. So.
Oh God, I hope so.
Yeah.
We have to talk about what happens in this game.
Hey, one of two things is going to happen. Either we're going to come into the next pod and you're just going to be like, like just like nonstop, or it's going to be the Chiefs that just won, and I'm going to fulfill my, what my reaction will be if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. And the pod we're going to open with our intro song, and then it's going to come out of that, and it's going to be you sitting there, and you're going to see this and my feet in the air. If the Chiefs win this fucking Super Bowl, and I don't want my feet to be in the air.
Dude, hey, if the Chiefs win, all right, you said it's going to go one of two ways on Monday. Hey, it's either going to go like, all right, the Niners finally did it. They finally won the Super Bowl. Or it's going to be, Super Bowl's overrated anyway. Like,
no, you're going to be wearing like San Francisco Giants gear, like some random hat, like that has nothing to do with the Niners. Yeah, you're just going to be like, so Mike, what do you got on the Raiders, man?
Yeah. No, hey. Yeah, let's not talk about that game, huh? No.
Yeah.
Faithful till I die. The Smitty asks, who's going to score the first touchdown? That is a very interesting question. I don't know the answer, and I really struggle to answer this. Even when I ask it to myself, it's really going to be it's going to come down to, I know the Chiefs are going to get the ball first. I know it. And if they don't, I'll be shocked. Could you imagine if the Chiefs give the 49ers the ball first, they score the first touchdown, and then like the Chiefs have to play desperately all game? Could you
Right.
imagine? And the Niners are able to like drop 30 like they've done on other teams. That'd be nuts.
You
That'd be
know, I
nuts.
think it'll come down to who wins the coin toss, because I feel like the Chiefs are a defer to the second half sort of team, you know, and obviously the Niners are too. Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, but I could also see the Chiefs deciding, you know what, let's go out there and let's score first and just get a, let's get it going and kind of play the momentum game. You know, like if they can get the ball first and go down right down your guys' throats and score a touchdown on the opening drive, it'll be like a kind of a big momentum killer of like, ooh, damn, they just did that on us, for the Niners team. But yeah, okay, who scores the first TD? I think, if we're being honest, the most likely answers are either Travis Kelce or Christian McCaffrey.
Mm.
That's the
Okay,
way
so we're
I'd
talking
feel.
about individual player.
Yeah, I'd say if we're talking individual player, if we're talking teams, who scores first touchdown? I'm gonna, man, that's really tough. I don't know.
Yeah,
I could see either way.
okay. I can guarantee you this: if it's the Chiefs who score the first touchdown, it's going to be Mahomes. It's going to be Mahomes.
Like running, or just throwing to somebody.
Throwing. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Well, I don't think it'll be running. I mean, it could be Pacheco. You know what I mean? But I would just. I mean, that's where the Niners are vulnerable, man. It's like run defense. I don't know, man. I think Mike brings up a good point. If the Chiefs are a team that defers, I think it'll matter who wins the coin toss. My left AirPod just died. My right AirPod just died. Let me put it back in the left one. See, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay. If the Niners get the ball first, man, they have to score. They have to score a touchdown on that opening drive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They have to set the tone. They have to set the momentum.
Yeah. Feed Debo. Feed McCaffrey. You get those two going, man. I'm talking Niners need to run more jet sweeps. They need to get McCaffrey going one way, Debo going the other way. The defense won't know which way to go. Debo's built for this moment. He almost won Super Bowl MVP last time, and they went away from him. He was the best player in 2021 and, should have been the guy that they fed against the Rams, but they gave him the ball twice in the second half. He was killing the Rams. Don't forget about Debo. You still with me, Mike? Yeah. Are you muted? Okay. There
I'm
you go.
muted. My bad. Yeah, I'm muted.
Yeah. I just want to see this game already. This has been the slowest week ever. And now it's finally going faster. Tomorrow's already Friday. Then we got 2 days left. And yeah, man, I'm just so glad that we get to enjoy one more week of 49er football. That's literally all I'm thankful for. So, Tony says 28-27 Niners. If the Niners win a 28-27 game, oh my God, will I even be alive to see the end of it?
You're gonna be sprawled out on the couch, just like,
I might rip through a couple jerseys, you know what I'm saying, and I might break all the furniture. I might break through some furniture in the house. So I apologize to my girlfriend because I'm going to be watching the game probably at her house. So yeah, just be ready for some broken lamps and couches flipped upside down. The Smitty says 33-27 Niners. That's actually a very interesting score prediction because the Niners have shown to score 33, 30 plus points in a lot of their games. And the Chiefs have not scored more than 27, I think. But when the Chiefs do score 27, they typically win.
Yeah, I mean, that's their defense.
That'll be interesting. this is one of those matchups I really don't know how it's going to go. This is going to be a great matchup of football. And like Mike said, it's going to go down to the wire because at the end of the day, if one team is getting blown out or the other, I don't think either team can be deemed dead until the final second goes off that clock.
What would your score prediction be? Or do you have to think about it?
Dude, this game can go a million different ways. Can I say 3-0? No, just kidding.
I'll give you mine. I think right now my feeling is Niners 31, Chiefs 24.
Okay. I'm not very good with score predictions, but you know what? Let me think about it this way. I think McCaffrey, I think you could pencil him in for 2 touchdowns. Not pencil him in, but just the way that I'm thinking about the game, I'm predicting he might have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so that's 14 points right there. I'm thinking Debo might have a touchdown. That puts us at 21. Ayuk maybe. I don't see more touchdowns than that. I'm sorry. So that would be 4 touchdowns. That would put us at 28.
28 plus a field goal would be 31.
That's if we get a field goal.
Gotta get that. Yeah, you gotta get that field goal.
So far in line with Tony's, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to change my prediction too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would love that, Smitty. I would love that. Please blow out the Chiefs. Please humble them. Either way, beating the Chiefs will humble them, but like blowing them out and making them have to sit through that like they did the Buccaneers game, 2 years ago or 3 years ago. God, that would be great. I know all the Swifties would be at home like, and then all the Chiefs fans would be at home like, oh. but hold me, cousin. But you didn't get it. Okay, my changed prediction. Yeah, I'm not gonna go further. 31-27 is my final prediction. The Niners 31, Chiefs 27.
I'm in between 28 and 31 for the Niners. I could see them kicking a field goal, but at the same time, like I could see Jake Moody missing a field goal and them going away from that. You know what I mean? They might go for it on 4th down.
Yeah. I think
Jake Moody missed 2 field goals in the preseason in this stadium. This is now a bigger stage, and Jake Moody has missed a field goal in the past 2 games. But you know what? Dude, he bounces back.
The Niners are going to line up for a field goal, and you're going to be sitting there like, until he kicks that ball. You're just going to be like, oh my God, what is going to happen?
Yeah. That's going to be the next heartbreak, dude. There's a heartbreak moment every single time. And you know what? You're only as good as your weakest link. And unfortunately on this football team, it's that rookie kicker. And Jake Moody, just, you know what? Ignore the past several words if you're listening that I just said about you. Jake Moody's going to nail those kicks. Jake Moody's going to nail those kicks.
Hey, it's indoors. Like, he has no real actual, reason to miss the kicks. Just don't get it blocked,
Yeah. Well, he missed in that same stadium against the Raiders.
Yeah, but I mean, that was his
Jake Moody, you're going to nail those kicks. Okay.
Yeah.
You're a superstar. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say 31 for the Niners. How about that? 31.
That's like what I did,
Yeah. There's gonna be a touchdown coming another way than the 2 for McCaffrey, the 1 for Debo, and either Ayuk or Kittle is gonna get one.
Oh, I could see Juszczyk. I could see Purdy running for one.
But you know what? This isn't a guarantee, so I'm not speaking the future. You know what I mean? This is
Right,
how I'm
right.
playing it out in my head.
Yeah.
Okay. The Chiefs. I think Mahomes is going to pass for 3 touchdowns. And I think they might kick two field goals. Where does that put them at?
20?
No. Okay. So
Another touchdown puts him
21.
at 27.
Yeah.
That'd be my
So
prediction.
so 2 field goals plus that would be 27, huh? That I'm almost at Tony's prediction, but
You're either
okay.
at Tony's or mine.
Yeah, I'm in between Tony and Mike's prediction.
Here's the
And
thing,
honestly,
the reason
really
why I
close
went
to the Smitty's prediction too. So
Yeah. I think one thing that's kind of that, well, at first I said 31-24, but then I was like, no, that's a 2-possession win. I think it's going to be 1 possession. The thing I could see happening is a 4-point win where it's like the Niners score a touchdown with like a minute left.
31-24.
That's one.
That's a 1.
Whatever. It's 1. Okay, but winning by a touchdown, I was like, I don't see it. Like, I think there's a last-minute score. I know I just blundered that. My bad. There's a last-minute score where it's like, okay, it was this team was down, they scored, they go up, and then this other team gets the ball at the end, and either they win it, or because there's a lack of time or timeouts or something, they don't win it, and that team that was up by 4 points wins it, which is the Niners for me.
I do think that this, forget I said anything. This was about to sound stupid. I'm like, I think if Mahomes gets those 3 passing touchdowns and Pacheco runs for 1, I was like, I think the Niners lose, but given
field goal.
Yeah, given the field goal, right? But that's kind of dumb. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a great game. And my final message to the 49ers is, there is no shame in losing to the Chiefs. They're here every year. There's absolutely no shame. But my God, there will be shame if this core that Shanahan has built doesn't end up winning a ring. I think it'll just be a shame if they don't. It'll be not disgraceful, but it's just this team doesn't deserve to be forgotten.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I want the Niners players go out there and remember that at the end of the day, I mean, there's going to be all this media, all this press, coverage, on the game. Just remember that at the end of the day, you're playing a football game. You're supposed to have fun playing it. You've been playing this game since you guys were kids. And remember, if you're not giving your best effort, I mean, don't just give your best effort for yourself. The person next to you might not be here next time. Trent Williams might not be here for another Super Bowl. He might retire. Do this for the guy next to you. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. And don't even do it for the fans that are watching at home. We want you to win. We're gonna support you no matter what. We've done that. We've seen you lose Super Bowls. We've seen you lose NFC title games. We're here. We haven't gone anywhere. We're gonna rep the team. But you know what? It's about time. Let's win this game. Somebody's got to take down the Chiefs. Let's do it. Why not? Why not us? Why not Brock Purdy? Why not Deebo Samuel? Why not Christian McCaffrey? Why the hell not? I think it's time. Just one play at a time. Trust the process. Diamador Lenore even said, they don't believe, or he doesn't believe, that the Chiefs can beat the 49ers. It'll be the Niners that can beat the Niners if they lose. He believes that it's not something that the Chiefs will do that will be the reason why the Niners will lose if they lose. It'll be the Niners self-inflicting it. So just go out there and remember the pain that you had to sit through in 2019. And remember, the team on the other side doesn't respect you. They're not taking this as seriously. Well, they know what it takes to win. They know that they're going to be back here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They've been back here several times.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are probably looking at this like, it doesn't matter who our opponent is. It's about, oh, we're the Chiefs, we'll win this. We'll do it our way. And I think the Niners can look at that and take it as, you know what, that's a spit in our face. Let's go bully them. Let's go beat them. Let's show them who we are. But also, I think something we barely touched on is this past week and a half of their hotel, their practice fields. Everything the past week and a half has been very much in the Chiefs' favor, and very much it feels almost making it harder for the Niners. And then you have the Taylor Swift aspect. You have all the media, everybody betting on the Chiefs. It's like, I feel like you can come into this game with this mentality of like, sort of like a chip on your shoulder and, like feeling like the underdog, but also really just being pissed off, and being like, you know what? For the guys that have been there 4 years ago, it's like, we know what it takes now. And man, losing does not feel good. We have to win this game. The guys that haven't been there, it's like, man, look at this past week. And really, I think, look at that Lions game. Think about how you felt in the first half. Think about how you felt after the second half. Just execute and succeed. Just get it done.
And think about this. To the Chiefs, this is just another Super Bowl. To you guys, this is your Super Bowl. Go out and win it. Be remembered forever. Just get it
Nobody
done.
remembers the teams that lose. And I know I said this on the phone with you the other day. This is honestly my last point. It's insane how many Super Bowls end in a one-possession score, meaning it could have gone either way, right? It was that close. When you think about like the Titans versus Rams Super Bowl, where you have the outstretched arm and he just barely doesn't make it. If he makes it, the Titans win.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I couldn't even tell you what that dude's name is. You know why? Because they didn't win. The teams that lose Super Bowls, they get forgotten for the most part, So, and that's not really, it's not really something they need to think about, but just go out there and win, and you're champions, dude. You'll never be forgotten. You'll be in history forever. So,
yeah. So, the Smitty says Niners aren't losing. I hope not. But at the end of the day, let's just enjoy. We got one more game of football, one more opportunity to be immortalized. This team. And then Tony gives a thumbs up. Thank you, Tony. Thumbs up right back at you. We appreciate the support, everyone. That's the show. Man, Niners, the ball is in your court. Take care of business. Party afterwards all you want. The Niner fans have been waiting almost 30 years. But don't do it for us. Do it for the person right next to you who might not be back ever again. The guys in that locker room. Any last thoughts, Mike, before we get out of here?
This would be the moment where I'd love to make a funny joke or something. But, I mean, I guess it's just now hitting me like it's about to be Friday, last day of work on the week, and then it's the weekend, and all of a sudden Saturday will fly by, and then boom, it's Sunday. It's like, oh man, they got the pregame on. All of a sudden, boom, national anthem. It's like, oh my God, we're doing this. The team's coming out of the tunnels, and then kick off. coin flip, everything. It's like, oh my god, like it's hitting me right now that it's coming this weekend, which I can't imagine how you feel right now. I guess like as a Raider fan again, haven't felt anything like this, so I'm just curious, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's been nerve wracking. It's been very nerve wracking, and this week has gone the slowest that it's ever gone. But I feel better after hopping on this podcast and talking about it. Like, I genuinely feel better about it. I've been watching nonstop, like, content creators and this, that, and the other. And I think that the only way that I'll feel relieved from it is if, the Niners walk out of that game, victorious. And it's like, if they don't, then it's not anything that I haven't already, been through.
Yeah, I just remember you saying, all these Raider fans that are rooting for the Niners, if the Niners lose, they're just gonna be sitting like,
yeah, no.
That's so fucked up, dude. But
hey, you're gonna be watching the game at, like with a bunch of Niner fans, like, not with me included. But Mike has a bunch of family members that are Niner fans, and I don't know if Mike makes it out alive. He might get shanked if he starts,
Yeah.
But hopefully that's not going to have to happen. It will be, there will be the greatest parties if the Niners win this. You know what I mean? Like, can you imagine how your family would feel if they win, on Sunday?
Very good.
Would they not like just like, all right, you've already witnessed your family partying. Would they not just go over the top, like, go over their drinking limit?
Well,
like, let's just say
the problem. That's the problem with the Super Bowl being on a Sunday and then the next day not being a holiday. But maybe like the following weekend, like the next time everybody hangs out, because like where I'm going is just my uncle's house. Like it's gonna be my uncle, his neighbors, maybe a couple other people. Like we're not gonna have everybody there, So it's like maybe the next time that my uncle sees like my mom's side, it's gonna be like, dude, oh my god, they won, like,
Dude,
but
I guarantee you, if the Niners win, all right, just think about if it was the Raiders, would you not just go like over the top celebrating? Like you're like, I can call out a sick tomorrow, or I can call out sick tomorrow. I am celebrating today. Would you not?
I think if the Raiders made the Super Bowl, they win the AFC Championship, that moment I would put the request in for time off for the 2 weeks in advance, the next Monday. Because I'm like, dude, if we win, I'm going to be like, whatever. If we lose, the last thing I want to do is go into work on Monday and have to see all those guys be like, what I mean?
God. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I've lived through that because I'm not going to lie. When I was in middle school, like I thought for sure the Niners were winning. And I was friends with my friend named Brian, who was a Falcons fan. And, we came back against them in the NFC Championship, right?
Oh.
And, I was pretty adamant. I'm like, oh, the Niners are going to win, right? I show up to school on Monday, and Brian from across the quad at the middle school, Josh, what happened? Hella loud, like it echoed. You know what I'm saying? So I dealt with that. Then Chiefs loss. I was just quiet. Like my cousin Daniel was like, he's like, I'm sorry, cuz. And I'm like, it's okay. And I went to my room and I went to bed.
Yeah,
I would
be exactly the same. And that's the problem is like, we were talking about like, dude, like for me, if the Raiders made a Super Bowl, I would not throw a party. Like it would be me and anybody in my household who regularly watches football with me. That's it. That is it. If it's, Jets versus Packers, let's throw a party. Cool. If it's the Raiders versus, I don't care. I'm going like it'll be
Hey,
the house will be very dark.
check this out. My brother, full on Niner fan, is going, his friends are having a Super Bowl party at his friend's house, and like they don't even watch football like that.
Oh,
I can't
so they're just
imagine a
gonna they're
word
just
like
that's
no
the
offense.
worst.
It's just like
That's the
it's
worst.
the worst because people who don't watch football don't understand.
Yeah. Well, your brother's gonna be sitting there going like, "Oh wow, they really hit the B gap hard right there," and then like somebody's in the background like, "Where's Taylor Swift?" And then like, "Oh, that guy looks funny." Just like stupid comments. You're gonna be like, "Oh God, I'm gonna lose my fucking marbles here."
Yeah. Joey wanted me to go to that party. And like, I like everyone there. You know what I mean? I don't have a single problem with anyone there. It's just like my team is playing. Like, unless you want like you want to invite the party pooper, like they're like, oh man, like somebody who just doesn't understand, doesn't watch football is like, man, the Niners really like messed up there. Hey, why don't you shut your mouth? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Or better yet, that, and then like 2 minutes later, it's like everybody's sitting there going like it's just a normal play. It's not maybe it's like 3rd and 3. Niners on offense, right? Fourth quarter, 5 minutes to go. The Niners are down 4 points, and on 3rd and 3, they gain 2 yards, right? But they don't get the first down, and all the people in the room are like, "Oh, really close." Meanwhile, you're just sitting there like, "God damn it!" Like everybody's just like, "Oh," and then you're just in this corner like yelling at the top of your lungs, like you're the one guy in there,